What's up, everybody? Mel here, and tonight we're going to be just talking about Game of Thrones and the end of the seasons and the end of the series, not just the season. And it just ended. Like, it literally ended less than 2 minutes ago. And boy, oh boy, what can I say? First things first, spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, or if you're going to watch it later, come back. Don't watch this now. Please come back, but watch the episode, then come back. And I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your thoughts on everything, guys. I'm going to give my thoughts on everything. I did feel like Daenerys was going to die tonight, and that did happen. I was not surprised that Jon Snow killed her. I also felt that that was a way that that was going to happen. I figured it was either going to be Jon Snow or Arya. And for a moment there at the top of the stairs, I actually thought Tyrion might. But I was the it seems to definitely harken back to the House of Undying. I believe in season 2 was it that she had the vision of the throne room basically being the way it was. The fact that Drogon melted the throne. Lots of things about the dragons. I think they're far more intelligent than they were actually portrayed in the, that we were led to believe. But the fact that he melted the throne when she died, there could be a lot of symbolism there. I mean, what was it all for? There's a lot of things that could be read into that I'm not going to just yet. Uh, Overall, I liked the episode. I feel like it ended on a good note, which I kind of was surprised with. Daenerys did go off the deep end, and you could see that in this area, and that in today's episode, post torching of King's Landing, she definitely had a little bit of the crazy eyes kind of thing going. Um, Became utterly convinced of her convictions that she was right and she was the only one that knew the right way to live, and therefore had to be put down. All there is to it, simple as that. Um, I did think that John would do it. I thought it would be more of the Azor Ahai thing, which they seem to kind of let fade, and that's fine. I mean, fair enough. I don't know what the ending will be in the books. I don't know if they will tie that in more. Not sure. George Martin hasn't said anything, but I'm sure we're going to be going towards a similar end in the books than we have with as we now have with the TV series. Um Overall, how it ended, Bran as king, didn't see that coming, but okay. So in the Song of Ice and Fire world, Bran really did have a pretty remarkable journey. For somebody who couldn't walk and he had to be carried, and he went beyond the wall, became the three-eyed raven, and you know became this wise person who had all of this knowledge of what went on before. I think that was a good call, putting him as king. Apparently everybody else thought it was a good idea too. I'm interested in the fact that Sansa now was coronated as queen, so that was cool. um I didn't see that going anywhere other than that, so I'm glad that that happened. Arya, I'm glad she didn't die. I was concerned that Arya might die in this episode. Um, all things considered, fairly light on death episode, and we had one on screen death where Grey Worm took out that guy from the Lannister army. But aside from that, fairly light episode on death. Surprisingly, Daenerys, of course, big death, but other than that, that was kind of something that I felt after last week's episode was coming. I think it could have been avoided, but we're not going to go into the speculation. If you want to have a discussion about that in the comments below, by all means, I'm happy to have the discussion. But overall, my feelings on the episode right now, after having watched it, um, I'm happy. I think Jon Snow ended up in a good spot for him. I think he ended up where he meant to be. And let's be honest, I think everybody out there will be like, thank God he actually pet freaking Ghost, and he pet him, and he got down. He was happy to see him. They were happy they had that reunion that they should have had. like the week after the Battle of Winterfell, but okay, this was good. I was happy. I think everybody can agree that that needed to happen. If that didn't happen, I think this would have been. I would have definitely been far more let down than I actually, yeah, than you could imagine. And I think I'm not alone in that. So thumbs up for doing that right. Now, the only other thing I have to say is overall, I'll give my overall feelings on this season. It did feel rushed. There were a lot of things that I think another episode or two of even just regular length would have, even if they would have been like just plot episodes, would have gone a lot more to explaining why things were happening, explaining how characters were turning, like Daenerys's turn towards kind of, you know, this utter conviction, this kind of madness that she had would have been better. Um, I think that there's a lot more that could have happened that would have gone to explain things a little bit better and to flesh out the story a little bit better. I know that was a decision on the production team to keep the episodes at a reduced count. HBO did offer them 10 episodes. That much we know happened. So yeah, I feel like that was maybe a mistake. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with it. Just on a writing, just because the story felt very forced, it felt very rushed. There were a lot of elements that did feel rushed. Overall, though, like I said, I'm pleased with it. I think Tyrion, I think definitely Peter Dinklage, hats off to you, good sir. You did an excellent job. I mean, as the whole cast really did. I mean, let's just take a moment to just thank the cast for doing the amazing job that they did with the material they had. They was a phenomenal series that was acted, with perfection in many cases. Um, I mean, there's so many memorable characters that are going to come out of this show and everything else. And I'll go into this more in a more detailed podcast. But this is my initial reaction. And I really have to say, I'm going to watch the episode again when it airs in another hour, or an hour or two. And I'll really get a chance to flesh down what I have to say. And I'll do a longer podcast on Game of Thrones as a whole in a week or so when I have a chance to get my thoughts together. But for now, I just want to say I did enjoy the episode. I will give it so far. I'm going to rate it as a much higher rating than the past episodes so far this season. And I will say this: I did enjoy the small council meeting because there was a bit of levity, the humor, the thing that we needed a little bit to lighten the mood after all of the dark stuff happened at the beginning of the episode. That I think that's something that we definitely needed. It it kind of helped kind of break us in for what was going to happen, and it gave us the chance to take that sigh of relief and to think about things. The most emotional moment for me was a toss up between John and Tyrion in Tyrion's prison cell, and between and that discussion they had about what to do about Daenerys, and then the speech that Tyrion gave when he nominated Bran as king. I think that those two are going to compete for my favorite moments in the episode. Um, so yes, I think everybody's going to say. I think we all know what our favorite moment in the episode was when John finally went over to Ghost and gave him a little bit of a scritchies, and he was like, "Good to see you, boy," kind of thing. So yes, um, but other than that, that's really my ultimate feelings on this. Again, I'm anxious to hear what you guys have to say. Can't wait to see what you all thought. Liked it, didn't like it, don't care. I want to hear about it. I want to hear what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you hated, what you loved. Please, down below in the comments. Other than that, I'm gonna keep this nice and short. So, guys, thank you so much for coming to this channel. I know it's been a while since I've streamed, but we'll be back to that. And I will just see you all soon. Keep it up. And if you haven't seen the show, and you've watched this for whatever reason, I hope I didn't spoil it too much for you. Probably did. But regardless, hope you have a great night. And I will see you soon. Once again, Mel out.